Hello and welcome. This section, this is the last time I'm going to clip anything out of this stream. Peter Samedi, please don't hit me with a rolled up newspaper. I hope you don't mind. I know I didn't ask permission. I just went and did it because I could. But this is the last time I'm going to snip something out of this. And hey, while you're here, you might want to go check out the Alternative Comics campaign over on Indiegogo. There's summer 2022 pre-orders. I've already bought mine because like day of, like I bought it when they were doing this stream because I like their books. I like to put my money where my mouth is. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about here. So I'm going to shut up. We're going to listen to Peter talk for like a minute or so, and then we'll commentate and go with it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was super disappointing during the time of COVID because I was calling out the major companies left and right, and so many shops. I think about 200 something shops were signing up to order direct with Alterna, because so many companies were going pencils down. They didn't care about the shops. They were, everyone was just like, yeah, whatever. Who cares about you guys? And they were like, oh yeah, we'll support Alterna because Alterna is really speaking up and talking about all these stuff. And thanks Pete and this and that. They sign up to order, and they're like, we're gonna get our orders in right away. 16 of those stores ordered from us. 16
Yep.
out of the over 200 stores that said
Yep.
they were going to order, and they had, yeah, we support you guys, yeah. And
What?
Yeah. So here's a case of people not putting their money where their mouth is. And it's not even in their interest to not do that. Like sometimes, okay, it is in your interest not to put your money where your mouth is, to be like, yeah, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said that. It's okay to be open about that. We all make mistakes. We all say stupid things. I sure do. I'm some guy that just gets on the internet and talks about comic books as if this matters. But here we have like all these stores going, oh man, Alterna, thanks for speaking out. Let me buy 0 books. It wouldn't have hurt to just bought like 10 books and seen if they sold. I know a couple years ago where I was ordering Alterna comics through Diamond, because they were still with Diamond at the time. My shop man, he ordered a few extra. I'd be like, yeah, get me every Alterna book that comes out. Every one. Just whatever's in the catalog, order it, ship it to me, man. And I was getting this stuff direct from Pete too, so I got 2 copies of a whole bunch of Alterna books sitting in my bins. Well, some of that stuff he bought sold. Some of it ended up in back issue boxes, and I've seen an issue or two end up in the 75-cent bin. Okay, whatever. In fact, that book probably cost him like 75 cents because this was back when alternative books were like $1.50 as opposed to $1.99. Inflation is a killer. But where I'm kind of going with this is if you're a store, all right, you got to have 2 things. You got to have 2 things. You got to have product to sell people, and you got to have people to sell product to. If you only got one of those, if you got product but no one's buying it, you got a lot of capital, a lot of money just sitting on shelves rotting. If you got people coming in to buy stuff and you ain't got nothing to sell to them, you're paying rent, you're paying people wages, and all you're ending up with is a bunch of angry customers. So let's fast forward back to like May of 2020. And it took me a while to realize that this was that long ago. These last couple of years have really just kind of blurred together for me. Let's go back to May of 2020. So you got, lockdowns everywhere. You might remember this time. Lots of stuff just shut down. If you're not like a big grocery store or something that was deemed absolutely essential, your business was probably ordered closed. That's just how it was. Whatever you think about it, that's just how it was. Now you get to open up again. And Peter Samedi, in the stream, he talks about like publishers, companies, they were pencils down. Nobody's drawing comics. Nobody's inking comics. Nobody's writing comics. DC and Marvel actually like basically refused to publish comics for a couple of months. There was just this void. Now, granted, I think a lot of stores, maybe most stores, were just straight up closed by health orders during that time, so maybe it wasn't such a big deal, but I'm sure somewhere there were stores that were able to be open. And those stores that were able to be open, they got to have product to sell. if they want to be open. So if you're those stores and you got this guy on social media who's crusading for you, who's trying to get big companies to pay attention to you, because you're some little store. You got rent to pay, you got electricity to pay, you got food to buy, you got to pay for insurance, you got all these crazy expenses, and you ain't got no money to pay them with. So your choice is, do I stay closed and keep paying expenses with no possible income, or do I open up and try to make some money? If you open up trying to make some money and you ain't got nothing but back issues, and we did talk about this in a previous video, like maybe that is a viable business model for some stores, but if you got no new stuff, it seems like it's hard to get people to come in regularly. With comic books, the way they do things, you get that weekly cadence, boom, new stuff, boom, new stuff, boom, new stuff. And I guess now DC's coming in on Tuesday and Marvel's coming in on Wednesday with whatever. I don't know. They're making it weird for no reason. And my store ends up with next week's DC books like a week early. I don't know why that is either. That's really weird. This doesn't seem that hard. If you're a shipping company and your job is to ship books from place A to place B on time, it doesn't seem that hard to be like, yo, UPS, put these on your truck. But I digress. That's a whole nother rant for another day. So you're sitting there and you're trying to think, okay, I got to open my shop up. Maybe you can live off the back issues. But you don't have that regular cadence. You don't have any kind of draw to get people in. You got to find other product to sell. You got to find other product you can sell that you can cycle in new product on a regular basis. So why wouldn't you, if you find a publisher out there who's not in the diamond system and is thus not shut down, who is still open for taking orders, who is open for shipping orders, why would you take advantage of that? Even if it's just a small purchase, be like, hey, your customers come in, hey, check out this new product line I'm trying out here. Look at this, $1.50, $1.99 comics. Look at this, all ages titles. You can buy one for your kid, and who cares if they rip it up because it costs $1.50. You should check out Bear and Rat, man. Those books are funny. But I digress. Instead, what Peter's saying is basically nobody who's in that situation, nobody out there who's like, oh man, let's do this thing, actually did it. They didn't put their money where their mouth was. They absolutely didn't put their money where their mouth was. And it wouldn't even have been that much money. I don't think Peter's expecting somebody to come in and be like, oh man, I'm going to buy 800 copies of Mr. Crypt. Maybe he is, but that seems like an unreasonable request. What does seem reasonable is, hey, we really like what you're doing. We're going to try your books out for a couple of months, so we're going to buy 3 copies of 6 different titles and put them in a box on the counter, or put them in the indie section or something, then just be like, hey, check this out. Great books for kids, or awesome horror comic, or whatever it is. Now, Alternative's product line has varied a lot over the years, which, that's cool. It means you always get new stuff, right? If stores out there have put their money where their mouth is, they might be in a better place than they are now. It's a risk. I understand that. And maybe it wouldn't pay off, because I know at Graham Crackers, he sold some of the books he bought in that were alternate titles, and others have just kind of decayed. But that's the risk you pay with any product you purchase, whether people are going to be into it or not into it. All right, that's enough ranting. I swear I'm not going to go back to this stream for another video. Hopefully I keep that promise. You all out there have a beautiful, great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. I hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.